how can we develop our resources? There are numerous technical know-hows and also ways by which our resources can be developed. Resources have been used by human beings indiscriminately, and this has led to major problems in our lives. Depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of a few individuals have also led to the decrease in the amount of resources. Secondly, accumulation of resources in a few hands, which in turn divides the society into two segments, that is rich and poor, has also led to the decrease in resources. Thirdly, exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. In order to solve these problems which are existing in our world in accordance to resource planning is important. Now, what is resource planning? Resource planning is essential for the sustainable existence of all forms of life. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. This in totality means that there should be a sustainable use of resources in all kinds, and we should preserve resources for our future generations as well. In 1992, the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit was the first Earth International or the Earth Summit for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. Agenda 21 is the declaration which was signed by all the world leaders at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. This was aimed at global sustainable development for all. Now students, let's understand what is resource planning. Planning is the strategy for judicious use of resources. In India, there are some regions which can be considered self-sufficient in terms of the availability of resources, and there are some regions which have acute shortage of some vital resources. This calls for a balanced resource planning at the national, state, regional and local levels. Now, is resource planning efficient in India? Does India follow any kind of resource planning? Let's understand this in detail. Resource planning in India is a very complex process. Identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country is a difficult thing. This involves surveying, mapping, and qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of the resources. Secondly, evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skills, institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. Thirdly, matching the resource development plans with the overall national development plans is also a major criteria in resource planning. Conservation of resources is also important in resource planning. Resources can contribute to the development not only when they are accompanied by appropriate technology development and institutional changes. India has made concentrated efforts towards achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plans launched rightly after the independence. To overcome irrational consumption and overutilization of resources, resource conservation at various levels is very imperative and important.